What's going on, family? How you guys doing? This is Larry. I know it's been a while since I've sat down and did a video, but when I do videos, I want to have something actually to share with you and something actually to say. I think it's a lot of noise, so just be patient with me. When I have things to share, things to say, I will. If you guys follow me, you know I just purchased a small piece of land down in South Georgia. We're renovating that land and turning it into a farm. We're cleaning it up, rebuilding the pastures and all that stuff. So it's a big deal. But today I wanted to share this information with you. That information. Hold on. That information with you. That information right there is so important. And I'm going to share with you guys what it is, what it means, but you can read it. Let's read what it says. It says a background investigation, T4, has been completed for Larry Henry Brown Jr. That's me, guys. Larry Henry Brown Jr. On 3/23/2022, a favorable determination has been made on 3/30/22. Please contact your personnel security specialist, blah, 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 with any questions. What does that mean? So I had to cut off some of the information because it was some personal stuff in there. What department of the government? That's for the government. What department of the government I'm going to be doing work for? Now, this is my second T4 clearance I had. Google what T4 means. T4 is a public trust clearance, meaning I can get projects with the government as long as the requirement is T4 or less. T5 is top secret. That's the highest you can pretty much get, unless somebody else knows. If you guys know, then that's fine. But this is my second T4 clearance. What does that mean? I have convictions. I have convictions, not a conviction. I have several convictions. How was I able to get a T4? You see? So we're told that you're not going to be able to get jobs. You're not going to be able to do this. You're not going to be able to do that when you have felonies. But yeah, I'm sitting here with this today. I just received this. I got it in the email. I'm sitting here today saying that I have a T4 clearance, and this is my second one. I want to help you. I'm going to tell you how I got it. This is my second one. How I got it this time, because I work for myself now. And maybe it can help you get it. But I don't want to hear you can't, there's no opportunities, because there are. Now, I'm not saying every single charge, because I believe every single background is different. Every single charge will be able to get clearances and jobs within the government, etc. But I'm saying I have one, and I have some charges, a lot of charges. I don't even feel like going down the list, but it's a lot. I have some drug offenses, some violent offenses. I escaped from jail, theft by receiving, false information. I have a lot of stuff that I had been accumulating since 1996 up into 2000. And after 2000, that was it. I quit doing it. But I just want to share that with you, that I have a bunch of felonies on my record, but I still was able to do that. Now, let me explain to you how I was able to do this. Okay, so when I worked for the previous company I used to work for, they did all the paperwork, and my felonies still came up. But back then, it was 4 to 5 months. It took me about 4 to 5 months to get it. Now, everybody else got theirs in a month, but it took me about 6 months maybe. I can't remember exactly, but it was longer, and everybody was trying to figure out. This time, it took me over a year to get it. It took me literally over a year because of COVID, and they was behind, and it was just this big, long, drawn-out process. How I was able to get it. Now, let's get to the brass tacks of it. How I was able to get it, family, is by telling the truth. You have to be honest. So T4 means public trust. So it's not the fact that they want to punish you for your past. They want to know if they can trust you in spite of your past. So they're going to already have the answer. So for anybody who's going up for a T4 clearance, they're going to already have the answers. They already know you were convicted. Listen, man, these guys do thorough background investigations. thorough. When I say thorough, brother and sister, listen, it's nothing you're going to be able to sit up to these people and lie about. Nothing and nowhere. You hear me? Nothing and nowhere. If you did it in the United States of America, they're going to find out about it. I don't know about abroad because I've never did anything abroad, but I can tell you they're going to know. So when they sit down with you, they be cool. They smooth. So how it works, you talk to two investigators. You talk to one initially. You probably talk to that one on the phone. And then the second one, you're going to meet face to face. They're going to get all your information. They're going to get your family and friends, spouse, neighbors, all that information. And they're going to check. So that's number one. You better remember this. Don't lie to them. And they're going to check it. So if you give them a bogus reference, man, they're going to find out quick. Listen. So when you sit down with them, the first time I sat down with them, I was stumbling. And I sat down face to face with the investigator. What it's like, they throw these little softball pitches to you, and they trying to figure you out. And then they hit you with the hardball. So tell me about that case in 1998. Do you know about it? They knew the aliases I had used. I used to always use a couple of aliases. And the guy said, so who is this person in reference to you? You know, so they absolutely already know. So you have to tell them the truth, because it's not about punishing you. It's about determining if you are trustworthy. Number two, the next thing I found out, they cannot repeat anything that you reveal and they say to you and you guys discuss, or anything they find in your background. All they can say is you're not going to get approved for the clearance, but they cannot say why. They just can say unfavorable determination. So if you read what that says a favorable determination. A favorable determination has been made. So they basically, they're not going to say no. They're not going to say why. They're just going to say no. Okay. So anything you reveal to them, they're not going to, and they can't by law repeat it. They can't. So you could tell them everything back there other than you finna go do something, or you did a murder back in the day, or you raped people and you got away with it. No. But if you have a background and you sold dope, you got caught with some weed, you stole a car when you was 15, 17, 20, you may have been a drug dealer, etc. You can talk to them about that and they will listen to you. And I was fortunate enough the first time to go through it with an employer, and I was so scared, man. When I say I was scared, man, I was so scared. I was scared, man. When I say my heart was beating, and the guy who I dealt with the first time, he was a complete butthole, and he just was like, And I just got to a point where I said, I'm just gonna tell him the truth, and I told him the truth. And because of me telling him the truth, he literally, I'm gonna tell you how crazy it was. He got up from the meeting with me, walked down the hallway and talked to my superiors and gave them a complete different story. Walked down the hall and said, yeah, do you have Larry military records about him being in the military? Like, these guys on some other stuff. And my company was like, oh, yeah, let's look him up. Like, and he was like, oh, so Larry did tell you he's in the military, right? And they was like, I think, but I never said that. You know, it was just, it's like kind of weird how they was doing it. But I actually got the clearance and I started doing the work for the government. I'm not going to talk about what department of the government, but it's pretty, I'm telling you, it's pretty, like, for real. And I've done work with several departments of the government, inside of seeing stuff, all that, right? Because on my day job, I work with my company, I recover data for corporations. Now, fast forward to now, I seen the benefit of actually having a T4, because when the company that I work for closed, I seen the benefit of having a T4 clearance again, because it's certain bids, certain contracts you try to get. They wanted you to have a certain clearance, and you can leverage that clearance. You can say, hey, I can do this work. I have this clearance, etc. Right? Cool. So I wanted to get the clearance this time, but I didn't work for anybody. So this how I was able to get it this time. I subbed myself out to another company that's doing government work. So that company already they're doing government work. They have government clearances. So you sub your company out to them. You say, I can do work for you. I can save you guys some money. I can do work. But you can't touch that government data without having that clearance. So the company I subbed myself out to, I already had a relationship with them, started the process of giving me a clearance, getting me the T4 clearance back again. So I got the T4 clearance. Well, we got the investigation going. Let me tell you about that. I don't want to jump to the clearance part, because I just got the message literally today. But when I started the process, it was in the middle of we were finishing up COVID and the quarantine, and they were behind all those different, because it was a lockdown. So all those different clearances, and I got this one lady. This lady talked to my wife, my neighbors. Just did everything, and it's not a joke. I'm telling you, it's not a joke. So if you ever have the opportunity to sign up and try to get a T4 clearance or a T5 or higher, do not lie. They went to my neighbor and asked my neighbor. They said, yeah, we just want to ask you about Larry, et cetera, et cetera. Yeah, I've been knowing Larry. He been living here, blah, 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 this minute, this long, this how long he been living here. And my neighbor was like, yeah, so what is this about? Oh, Larry's trying to get a couple of grants. Like, they have these set little lies they tell. Larry's trying to get a couple of grants, and we're just trying to find him out. Oh, yeah, he good people, blah, blah, blah. And they may throw something out there to see if he gonna catch it and run with it. Like, oh, yeah, so do you know anything about... Or they'll say, do you have anybody else who can vouch for Larry's character? They say, oh, yeah, that guy right there, know him. They've been talking. And then they'll go over there and talk to that person. So... But mind you, it's all about public trust. Can they trust you? That's it. That's it. And a conviction 10, 15 years ago does not denote that they can't trust you. And they acknowledge that. I talked to the lady and I said this. She said, Larry, you impressed me. That's what the investigator said. She said, Larry, you impressed me. I said, why? She said, because a lot of times when I deal with people with felonies, I have to pry it out of them. But you just came out and said it. I said, but you got to remember, this is my second time. The first time I was just like those people. So this is my second time. So I know what you guys are looking for. She said, exactly. We don't want to punish you. That's not our job to punish you. Our job is to collect information. Once we get the information, we feed the information to the power that be with our recommendation, and they take it and run with it. Okay? So when she said that, I told everything, but they turn over every stone. They call your people. They had my wife on the phone, and they was asking my wife about her dad. They want to know her dad's birth date, her dad's death date, her mom, our children, what's going on with them. It's a trip, man. They really are seriously for real about it. But they want to make sure that you can't be blackmailed. They want to make sure that you can't be extorted. They want to make sure that you can't be persuaded to release government data to the public, so that's why they do that, because you can literally get some of this information. Because I work in the data field, my company, Pantheon Data Services. A lot of you guys may not know, I own a legacy data and restoration company. So I deal with data, and I see a lot of sensitive data, but I've been doing it a long time, and I'm a very professional individual. So they want to make sure that I can't be extorted by someone in Iran or someone in China or someone in Russia making me give information over, right? So that's their main goal. But as a convicted felon, I want to tell you, man, there is hope. Don't get in this state of there is no hope. That's a lie. That's a lie. You may have heard 10 no's, but all you need is one yes. There is hope. And another thing, you may not be trying large enough. Some of the jobs that you think will not hire you will hire you. I have learned that corporate positions are really great about hiring people with felonies. And people can say whatever they want to about, no, they don't. That's a lie, man. I worked in corporate America for 11 years, and they knew I had felonies. I worked in corporate America when it was to the point when they got my background check back. They redacted my name, redacted all my personal information, and passed my stuff around the office behind my back laughing at me. And it was to the point where it came to me. They like, who you think that is? Who you think that is? It was a joke. You hear what I'm saying? But they did that to me. For real, man. They did that to me, and it hurt my heart because I had listened to the correction officers. I listened to the probation officers. I listened to all the people who said you can't and you got to hide under a rock, and you don't. You don't have to hide up under a rock. You're not an outcast of society. You're not. You may not be trying the right employers. I say this and I say this and I scream this to the mountaintops, that you may be trying too small. That big shiny building downtown that you're afraid to walk into may be the very building that'll give you a job in the mailroom as a start. They'll give you a job. The person who's the hiring manager may have a felony. You get what I'm saying? So today, I wanted to prove this to you Because I get a lot of, that's just easy for you to say. How is it easy for me to say? It's not easy for me to say, guys. I have felonies, aggravated assault. I have possession with intent charges. I have, how is it easy for me to say that? I escaped from prison, false information, thereby receiving. The only thing I can say now is because of the time, I've proven I'm trustworthy because of the time. But at the end of the day, my felony is no more or no less than yours. You have one, you can do the same thing. I just feel like you have to go higher. You have to try different employers. You have to try people who everybody say you can't. You hear me? When I first got out, they told me, it's no need to get a truck driver's license. I wanted a trucking license. They said, no, it's no need to get a trucking license because companies don't hire felons. That's what they said, right? And I didn't do it because I was afraid. I didn't do it. Now, if you guys see my previous video, me going through trucking school, etc., companies will beg for you to come work for them. They will, with or without a felony, because they can't find people to work. So this is the perfect time for somebody who has a felony on their record to get a job. Now, in your city, in your town, it may be tough because the market may be more challenging. But I can tell you my experience, and I'm located in Atlanta, Georgia. My experience has not been that. I'm not going to say I was able to start off like that. So that's the number one thing. Some of you want to start off making 50 grand a year. You're not going to start off making 50 grand a year. You're going to start off making $17 an hour. And you have to work that $17 an hour job just like the $50 grand a year job. You have to be dedicated. You have to do what they need and take it serious. And then you'll work your way up, because one of the things most criminals I've learned, and people with felons, and I am not saying criminal in a bad way, guys, so don't think because I'm you. Most felons don't have is viable, marketable skills. Like they don't have something they can bring to the marketplace and say, I know how to do this. So you either going to have to learn it in school or you're going to have to learn it on the job, because while everybody else was in school, we were ripping, running the streets, right? So we know how to sell weed. We know how to smoke weed. We know how to sell dope. We know how to smoke crack. Whatever we do, we know how to steal. We know how to fence. We know how to sell stolen stuff. We know how to do that stuff, but those are not transferable to the corporate world. You hear what I'm saying? So today, that's my encouragement today. See my T4 clearance. Public trust, Larry Henry Brown Jr. I have one. This is my second one. Don't let anybody tell you it's nothing you can't do because of your felony. I don't believe that. I know, because my life is proof of that. My life is proof of that. Now, it may be a little bit more challenging. When you hear the first no, if you quit, then you're not worthy of it. That's what happened. A lot of you hear no and you quit. You hear no 10 times and quit. Remember, you only need 1 year. 1 year. So the apartment I live in Atlanta, don't accept felons, but I live here. I work. I own my own business. I do business with a lot of companies who everybody swear won't do business with felons. They do business with me. I got a public trust clearance with the United States government to do work with, probably see some of y'all information. Yes, for real. And all that with a criminal background. So do not tell me what you can't do. All right? This Larry, man, this is meant to be encouragement for the person who see this today, who's at their wits' end. You're at your wits' end because you continue to hear no, and you're trying your best, and you're tempted to go back to the streets because you feel there is nothing else you can do because you've came across a bunch of no's. I want you to stick in there. Remember this. You don't need 10 yeses. You only need 1 yes to change your life. This Larry, man, I hope this encouraged you. I'm going to talk to you next time. Peace.